I'll ask you what Roger asked you. Are you awake? Thank you very much. And you have hope. That's even better. You have hope for mentorship this time. It really is a privilege for me to be here this afternoon to talk about mentorship. And mentorship actually works. More than 2,000 years ago, when you think about many religions, and I will use Christianity, which I know the most about, one person, 12 disciples, people who were relatively uneducated, probably not someone would have chosen to mentor, and 2,000 years later, we are still talking about them. Of note, not everybody ended up being a successful mentee. One of the 12 definitely dropped out, if you've read history, or if you're one of those who follows this keenly, and went so far as to betray the person who was mentoring him. So keep that in mind. Mentorship really is not about being made into a clone. It's about being helped and supported to realize what are your own best talents and skills that you can bring to the table and that you can utilize so that you achieve your highest potential as well. I've been fortunate and I've had a long history of mentorship. Now, you can't recognize me in this particular photo because I'm the bundle that's being carried by my grandmother, and I don't really have a face that you can see. But I was mentored from a very early age by my sister, who was about 2.5 years older than me, who was shocked to learn that I couldn't read when I was just about 4 years old. She thought I was the worst thing that had ever happened to her. So she painstakingly taught me the alphabet, taught me how to pronounce words, taught me how to spell my name, which was relatively long. And on the first day in kindergarten, she took me. While most of my classmates had been brought in by parents, I, being the fourth born in a family of 5, was sent along with the rest of my older siblings. So I got to school and I walked in, and most of my classmates were holding on to their parents, crying they didn't want to be left. Sisters don't give you that kind of an option. You're in school, you need to sort it out yourself. So I volunteered to spell my name. I told the teacher who I was and volunteered to help her with those who were crying. I immediately became the prefect thereafter. Fast forward this to about 25 years later. I was a young obstetrician gynecologist working at a research institute and not really sure if I'd made the right decision to go into research. I knew a little bit about clinical practice. I'd spent most of my learning years in university on this, but I wasn't really sure about research. Alan Ronald, who you can see in his nice regal red regalia, from the University of Manitoba, had been mentored by King Holmes on the extreme right when he was doing his infectious disease fellowship at the University of Washington. Alan pointed Craig, who's the youngest of the 3 gentlemen there, in my direction so that we would consider working together. It was a small project. It was on pelvic inflammatory disease and infertility. And we had a small staff of 5 people. We were the drivers, we were the clinicians, we collected the data, we took all the samples. The only thing we didn't do was analyze since we didn't know enough about lab work. 24 years later, Craig and I are still working together, having been mentored by King along the way, and we've had various opportunities to work with many different people and to mentor them. Currently, our team that includes both programs and research has about 1,600 different individuals working there. And in the past, the maximum we've ever hit of staffing is about 2,500. So mentorship does have a multiplier effect. King supported Craig and I. In turn, we have co-mentored and mentored others who have gone on to develop independent research careers or program careers, depending on what they wanted to do. Craig and I have also co-mentored each other on a peer mentoring level, always talking through things, discussing things with each other, and using our own gifts to support the other. One of us is very good at logistics, that's me. Craig is a big dreamer, he really thinks big. So working together, we've been able to get a lot done. I want to share a few stories with you and just finish up by telling you why I'm so committed to the idea of mentorship. Rason Marimba was a young clinician when she came to work with us in our PEPFAR-funded family aids services, FACES. And she had just finished medical school and internship and was trying to figure out what she wanted to do. She was one of our first employees. We started in a small room in one of the research clinics that we were working in. She worked to expand this program that to date has provided HIV care to over 150,000 different individuals in the region that we work in. Rason went on to do her master's in pediatrics, and now she works in Botswana with the University of Maryland program, continuing to build on her passions of clinical care and continuing to work with children, which was a focus for her. Zachary Kwena was one of the first social scientists that we ever worked with. He was a very shy, reserved individual, very soft-spoken. He had done a degree in geography, but was very interested in the issues around spatial determinants of health and behavior. He's become our leading qualitative researcher and has completed his PhD and a postdoc, and currently leads our FACES evaluation team and is mentoring others in this field of social sciences. He is also very well published. I want to tell you one more story. Ibrahim Daud comes from northeastern Kenya. It's a place where many of the people who live there don't even recognize that they're part of Kenya. Every time Ibrahim goes home, they ask him, "You've come back from Kenya," not realizing that they are also in Kenya. Ibrahim was one of those who we worked with in a program that was sponsored by the Fogarty International Center, the infectious disease training program. He went on to complete his master's and his PhD. Currently, he works in Eldoret at the Ampath Laboratories as the director of their research lab. In summary, mentorship makes a difference. Mentoring is about making not just a difference in terms of training or supervising, there's a big difference, but it's in terms of using your skills and your gifts to enable someone else be the best that they could be. True mentorship invariably leads to multiplication because that's in the mentoring DNA. Mentoring is about ensuring each person can be the wonderful, unique, talented masterpiece that they were made to be. Thank you.